Hi, I'm Sam Burke, Corporate Chef for Meat and Livestock Australia, and welcome to our third edition of Rare Medium Academy webinar series. So what are we here for? In COVID-20, we've had to change our approach of helping our food service customers on face-to-face value, and we've had to take it and pivot it and build resources online to give you free training that'll make sure that when you get Australian red meat on menu, you have success with it and then it repeats. Today, we're going to be looking at food that travels. Australian red meat travels many different ways around the world, but now we're looking at how it gets from the food service establishment direct to the customer through those delivery providers like Uber, Menulog, many of that type. So we're going to look at not only quality aspects, sustainable ways of doing it, and making sure that the product gets to the customer in the best possible fashion. So without further ado, let's get to our first webinar. We've approached Pinnacle. Pinnacle are the leaders in food service packaging. They look after some of the biggest QSR and FSR businesses in the world. So these guys live and breathe this every day. We went out to their factory in the western suburbs of Sydney and learned all things red meat and how to provide the best possible service to our clients, our customers. Hi, we're here today at Pinnacle to talk all things packaging. Pinnacle Packaging look after food service, FSR and QSRs nationally and abroad and are the leaders in this space. Let's go talk to Peter about how we can help you with red meat and packaging. Packaging is crucial to making sure that the food gets to the customer from the restaurant, not only in a premium fashion, but with food safety as well. How has Pinnacle had to evolve their packaging, or have they had to evolve to make sure that these delivery food providers get a great product to the end consumer?
Yes, it's very important, Sam. Quality is absolutely imperative, because with quality, you can ensure that the food arrives to its destination looking fresh, looking alive, looking as if it's just been made. And that way the consumer receives their product in that perfect fashion. What's even better is if the packaging is ethically sourced, if it's food grade, if it's certified. All these contributing factors play an important role in producing the perfect product.
So the Enviro range, if I had a beef brisket banh mi and I wanted to get it in 30 minutes from the shop to the consumer, how does that Enviro range stop from the sandwich going soggy, for example?
Well, one feature we've introduced are vent holes on top of each product, and what that enables is the food not to become soggy, because the right amount of airflow is allowed to flow through the product.
So the customer's getting a quality product and is also getting it at the right food temperature to enjoy.
That's the idea, Sam.
So single-use packaging has contributed to a lot of environmental landfill. We're now looking at social responsibility for food service to provide food, not only in an optimum fashion, but in packaging that the consumer can be happy to receive.
That's true, Sam. Yeah, here at Pinnacle, we make sure that all the products we produce come under the three most important categories: recyclable, compostable, or reusable. One example that we're very happy to introduce is our paperweight range. Our patented paperweight range is a product that the consumer can use, and once they've finished their meal, they can responsibly compost the product and know that it will not end up in landfill and help look after the earth and the home that we live in.
So not only are you getting attractive food in packaging, you're getting stuff they can feel good about.
Yeah, most definitely. That's something that we all want to continually achieve.
So the producer starts off with a good quality product, gets to the chef, they do an awesome meal with it. Now it's got to get to the customer. What examples can you give to me for red meat for a curry dish, a hot in the hand sandwich, and a salad?
One range I love for curries is our BioWay range. The beautiful thing about this range is that it's bagasse, 100% sugar cane, perfect for the earth and to be composted, and we're certified OK Home Compost. So you can actually finish your meal at home and compost it in your backyard responsibly. The range I love for burgers are our classic Enviro range burger box. This product is built for that juicy goodness within a burger to stay within the box and not seep through due to the quality of product. The range that's perfect for salads is our Composti range. This range allows the freshness, the vibrancy of the salad to just pop out of the container, particularly because of the fact of the lid being PET, which is 100% recyclable in the recycling bin.
Well, thanks, Peter. Two questions that were burning for me today for food service is how do we make sure that that meal gets to the customer in the premium fashion so they can enjoy their red meat meal? And secondly, what are we doing for the environment to look after our planet? You've answered them both. Thank you.
Thank you too, Sam.
So I often get asked when we do these activations with frontline food service on making sure that we keep our product on menu. I like to find out what's on their mind. And that's how we develop these case studies. We like to talk to them, see what business challenges they've got. And a big thing has been this red meat takeaway options. So this is how we develop these masterclasses. We don't just do them off the bat. We make sure we consult with the frontline food service professionals like yourselves and then work back and deliver content that's useful for you. So please, if you've got any recommendations that are going to help your business, please put them in the YouTube box before or send me an email at sburke@mla.com.au. Now for our next recipe. One thing that we think about these days is balanced meals when we're talking Australian red meat in food service. So power bowls have become a big thing. What are they? They're interesting composite ingredients all coming together with red meat in the hero in this fashion. Today we're going to look at a lamb rib power bowl and how to create that so when it gets to the customer it's at its fresh and optimum best. Now why I'm using slow roasted lamb ribs is because it's nice and gelatinous and it can be disassembled if need be by the customer, reheated and placed back on the salad, and then you've got a bowl full of beautiful goodness for you to enjoy as a customer. Let's go to our first recipe now with lamb ribs and takeaway power bowls. When writing delivery menus, it's important to make them as clear and concise as possible with the order of how you're going to serve your dish. This will make it easy for the customer to understand what's going to come to them when they order that dish. Chefs should be redesigning their menus right now if you haven't already, in order to make the same profit margin but having a lower cost of goods. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pokey Buddha bowl featuring lamb ribs that'll do exactly that. What I love about these lamb ribs is when you cook them low and slow and finish them on a high heat, they travel well and they taste great. Whereas if you had a steak, for example, and you grilled it and then sent it by a travel provider, it might not get to the other side and have the eating experience that the customer would expect. At the end of the day, we want the meal to come to the consumer in an excellent format, so they're going to enjoy it. The beautiful thing about these pokey Buddha bowls is that you layer the ingredients carefully, and provided they're packed appropriately, they're going to end up just as good as when you prepared it in your kitchen. The other good thing about these lamb ribs is that you can carefully remove them and put them in the oven or in the microwave, regenerate them and then put them back on the salad so the customer can have the product exactly how it was meant to be when it left the restaurant. Okay, onto the lamb ribs. Mirepoix into a shallow gastronome tray. Followed by the lamb ribs, we want the meat side down and the bone side up. Then we're going to pour in our master stock, baking paper, aluminium foil into the oven, 140 to 160 degrees Celsius, dry heat for about an hour and a half. Next step, let's get our lamb ribs out of the oven to rest. Whilst they're resting, let's get onto the marinade. For our marinade, gochujang paste, lime juice, fresh ginger, a touch of honey, and some mirin. We're going to whisk it all together, and then we're going to put our lamb ribs into the marinade and then straight into a hot pan to get some good caramelization for our bowls. The solution I'm presenting to you is a cost-effective, beautiful bowl that looks good, remains fresh, and will get to your customer for them to have a positive dining experience. And at the end of the day, it's economical, and it's going to return money to your till. And remember, a bowl can be anything you like. We're just showing you an example today, but it's up to your own creativity to make something special that's signature to your restaurant or cafe or food service outlet. Okay, so one of the questions that were asked during the break was in relation to packaging. Does food service need to absorb this in its cost of goods? Yes, well, nothing changes there. We've always had to cost factor our packaging into our products when we merchandise them. But the good thing is, if you can do it right and you can present your product to look better to the customer will pay for it. So if you've got good food, good layering in the textures like I just showed you in the salad bowl before, and good presentation, and it helps get the product to the end destination in the best possible format, the customer will pay for it all day, every day. So that's my answer to that question. A second one is, lamb ribs, are they flavoursome? And what's the best method of cooking? Well, always braise them at the start, because what that does, that gets rid of the, that minimises the fat, because we then pour that stock after, blast chill it, and then glaze it with a sauce, and then finish it over a hot pan or in an oven or over a barbecue grill. So my suggestion is braising, strain the stock, chill, baste, and cook. And we've got the recipes here after this masterclass at raremediumacademy.com in the masterclass section. So for our next question, grab and go food. Food that we can eat in our hands. Burgers, sandwiches, rice paper rolls, banh mi's. We need to think about what's the best quality product that we'll get from point A to B without going soggy. These two dishes that we're going to show you now work as stellar. So we've got a beef brisket banh mi and rice paper rolls. So not only do they provide great colour, great presentation, great cost of goods, but they're going to get to your customer in the best possible fashion. We're going to show you how to make them and package them right now. The modern day food service packaging equipment is not specific for one thing, rather okay for everything. So for that in mind, we need to think about dishes that we can create that can go into that packaging and travel well to the customer. The solution I'm going to give you today are 3 different items from the one cut of Australian beef, and that's the brisket. First up, I'm going to show you my interpretation of a Vietnamese banh mi. Secondly, a baguette, and thirdly, some rice paper rolls. With the baguette and banh mi, what I like about that is you've got nice hearty bits of bread that'll absorb the salads, the condiments and the proteins, so when it gets to the customer, they're going to get an excellent result. Secondly, the rice paper rolls. Pack them in nice and firmly into your container with your dipping sauces, so when they get to our customer, they're also going to enjoy a premium result. First step, make sure you get an MSA graded beef brisket. Secondly, let's get our barbecue sauce on. We want to get all through the crevices and make sure that it's well marinated. Then we're going to try something a bit different. We're going to put a rub on top of the sauce. So when it cooks, you're going to get a nice crust. Into the oven, 95 degrees, 10 hours. When you come in the morning, your kitchen's going to have a wonderful aroma, and you'll get a sense of satisfaction that you're well ahead with your mise en place to crack on with your day. I can sum this cut up in one word: versatility. All we've got to do now is let it rest, then cut it across the grain, and then it's ready for our rice paper roll, baguette, and banh mi. Serve it right and you'll get your customers coming back again and again. So we hope we gave you a few grab and go items there that are going to help you on your menu, and in turn have happy customers and get more dollars in your till and get the greatest meat on earth, Australian red meat, on menu. Now, for our final one, we're going to have a look at a restaurant experience and how takeaway providers can provide that for the consumer. But before going into that, I wanted to just answer two questions that came to me. The first was, Chef, we're looking at doing a steak for our online menu. What is the best one that you can advise for a travel period of up to 30 minutes? Well, firstly, is steak the cut that you need to be considering? Because the steak could go cold in that time, and when you regenerate it, are you going to get the taste that it's just been off the pan or the grill? You're probably going to struggle a little bit. So think about those slow gelatinous cuts that can be reheated. Another one that came to me just now for the brisket that we demonstrated before in the banh mi and the rice paper rolls. Do you need to use rubs and sauces all the time? Well, that's a good question. Some of the best pit masters in the world only use a mixture of sea salt to pepper. If you have a look at our first masterclass that we did low and slow, we had a recipe of 60% cracked black pepper to 40% kosher salt. So there's my answer there. Salt and pepper on a good quality graded product will win just as much as a rub or a sauce. Now, getting back to a restaurant experience for your customer. We've seen some big changes in food services. And one of the organisations we've been dealing with is a new startup called Providore in Melbourne. So my good friend Shane Delia, if you have a look at our Summer Lamb campaign, we worked with him and some of the 30 of the best restaurants in Australia in promoting Australian lamb through a restaurant experience at home. So when Melbourne was in lockdown, they had a deconstructed menu that the customer could come home and reheat with a recipe card and then provide that restaurant experience to their friends, to their family while they were in lockdown. So how do we do that? Well, we've answered that question here today. We've come with our own take on a restaurant experience for home, utilising Australian beef and Australian lamb. Let's go to that video now. In 2020, food services had to have a real hard think about how they create a delivery experience where the quality is maintained and the consumer can have a restaurant experience at home. Chef, we've all had to level up. So how do we do this to provide a fantastic meal for your diner? We've got two excellent cuts of meat, which I'm going to show you how to do today to prepare a dining room experience for the customer at home. We've got Australian beef short rib and Australian lamb shoulder. For our Australian lamb, we've got the perfect Middle Eastern banquet. To start off, we've got our lamb, which we've cooked for 12 hours in the oven. The stock, sumac, baharat, salt and pepper. To accompany our beautiful lamb, we've got the following. Homemade pita Arabic breads, a selection of Lebanese pickles and grilled olives, halloumi cheese, char-grilled eggplant, garlic toum, hummus, our radicchio, mint, parsley salad, finishing for dressing. And finally for dessert, kanafi served with rose water and pistachio crumb. And for the beef, I've got a fantastic feast. I've got some 12-hour asado cooked beef short ribs. To accompany, some crusty salt and pepper vinegar potatoes. We've also got some roasted broccolini, some whipped butter and French baguettes, trussed tomatoes, a radicchio salad, sticky date pudding with King Island double cream, and fresh summer berries. And the most important part, I'm going to show you how I prepared this Australian lamb and Australian beef short ribs. So chef, why have I chosen these two cuts? Because I want to make it easy for you. They're both around the same time of cooking and it's both practically the same method. We start off with a mirepoix for the lamb and the beef. Garlic, celery, carrot, onions into the pan, caramelise them, and then into a gastro tray. Then on goes our lamb and on goes our beef on top of those mirepoix. Then for the beef, we're going to add some crushed tomato and stock. For the lamb, we're going to add some stock, baharat, salt and pepper. Baking paper, aluminium foil, into the combi oven for 4 hours at 150 to 160 degrees Celsius. How good do they look? So we're going to strain a bit of the stock off both of them. And for the beef, I'm going to now add my adabo sauce and put it back into the oven at a high heat to get a glaze. For the lamb, I'm going to give it a squeeze of lemon and then add a bit more salt, pepper and a bit more baharat and straight back in the oven to get some caramelisation there. And then we're ready to serve. We are so lucky in Australia to have such wonderful product. Our producers have done the hard work. It's our responsibility to take care and nurture it and make sure we get the very best on the plate. These meals are fantastic for the consumer because they allow them to provide a dining experience at home. To marry them, perhaps add a Spotify playlist or a drinks package, and you have the perfect restaurant experience for your consumer. Well, there you go. Red meat that travels. We hope that you got some inspiration here today that's going to help you have success of our great proteins on menu. Now, just about Rare Medium Academy and our previous webinars. We've got a lot of new viewers today, and thank you for that. We've had double the subscriptions to our online program, so that's comforting to know as a production team that people are taking value of this content. But you can go back and watch our first ones. On our first collaboration, we teamed up with the Kings of Barbecue, Weber Australia, talking about low and slow. That's available for you to watch. Summer Lamb was one that we did, finishing off 2020 strong. And we had some wonderful dishes there that will help your business still today with Summer Lamb. And now you can go back and watch this again, all at raremediumacademy.com under the masterclass section. Let me also talk to you about other things in the website that are going to help you. Our pro tips section. There's over 30 recipes of Australian beef and lamb, 2.5-minute clips with PDF recipes and videos that are going to help you in your business. Get on and check that out. Our Producer to Plate series, where we take leading food service people back to the source. They meet the farmer, they get inspired, and then create dishes that will inspire others in food service. We've got plenty more exciting content, and I'm pleased to announce that today we are going to be teaming up with TAFE New South Wales. TAFE New South Wales are responsible for our chefs in the making. They're also taking on Rare Medium Academy as a part of an extension, if you like, to influence not only their chefs in the making, which are their students, but also their fellow teachers. So it's really good to have New South Wales leading RTO on the line, seeing value in our program. So please, what I need you to do is spread the word. We're out here to help you. This is for you guys. This is for you. So please tell your chef friends, come to us with suggestions, and who knows, we might be answering those questions in the next presentation. Join us next month for Rare Medium Academy webinar with TAFE New South Wales. Thank you very much.